Well, hey fans, welcome back to another movie review, and today we're talking about Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. So, Furiosa is a post-apocalyptic action film directed by George Miller, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and many other names, but those two are basically your main stars. Now, this one is a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, and it follows Furiosa from when she is kidnapped by the biker horde, which is led by Dementus, and then basically follows her life from being with them and how she ends up as an imperator for Immortan Joe at the Citadel. And I have to say, this movie is really good. I really enjoyed it. I think it is better than Mad Max Fury Road. There's definitely a lot more story to see here. Fury Road is basically a chase sequence there and back, whereas this one you get to learn about characters, motivations, everything. And I think that Anya Taylor-Joy does a great job playing young Furiosa, although we don't really see her for the entire film. I forget the actress' name who plays young Furiosa, but we're with her for at least, I want to say 60% of the movie. And then in the middle, it switches over to Anya Taylor-Joy. And the switch is seamless because of the fact that Furiosa is pretending to be a boy during this time period, and she keeps her face covered. So they make that work out really well. And Anya Taylor-Joy and the young actors, they don't really have many lines, and I think that's part of, the whole man with no name, the Western type of hero who they don't speak much, they let their actions do the talking for them. And that's the same thing with Max in the previous film. He really didn't talk a lot. So I think that's what they're going for there, but Anya Taylor-Joy does a tremendous job in this role, and I definitely like seeing her as the character. I like seeing her fight, her just be a badass simply, and it was really good to watch. Chris Hemsworth as Dementus, hilarious villain, great villain. Really enjoyed him, really enjoyed like the way his character looks. He starts off really clean when you first meet him as like this cult leader type of guy, but then later on the film he's like really dirty. He like changes his name throughout. He is met as, the great Dementus. And then like there's this one scene where they meet like this war boy, and he shoots off like this red smoke grenade. He gets covered in like red powder, so he then goes by the red Dementus. And then later when he's upset, he goes by the dark Dementus. When he's in control of the gas town, he becomes like the great Dementus, leader of gas town or whatever. And I thought the way he portrayed the character is great. The nasally way that he talks, ready, steady, go. I really liked his choice with that, and apparently that was based off of like his grandfather, so I really did enjoy just the way he portrayed that character. I thought he was a great villain. There was like a lot of depth to him. He's very Joker-esque in that he does tell young Furiosa this story about how he has this teddy bear on him, and he basically states that teddy bear belonged to one of his children who was killed along with his wife like many years ago. And the timeline of these Mad Max movies is not really great. You don't really know when they are set officially. I mean, we have a timeline, but things kind of change because these are just basically stories being told. But this would have been kind of like right before, the world went to crap. So he could be telling the truth and that he's just decided to take on this character now that this is the way to survive. Or he could be lying, like the Joker. We have no idea. And he holds on to these character traits to the very end. And that's why I do believe his story, at least for me. Because when he comes to the end and, him and Furiosa are having their final confrontation, he doesn't change. He's like, look, this is what it is. Kill me or not. Like, this is what's going to happen. I'm not going to give you what you want. This is a horrible world we live in. And I thought that was great. A character who I didn't know much about before the movie and only saw him in the movie is Tom Burke's character. I think it's Praetorian Jack or something like that. Let me check on that. Yeah, it's Praetorian Jack. And he's the imperator before Furiosa. And he basically takes her under his wing, and then they form some kind of relationship. You're assumed to believe that they're together, although they don't kiss or anything. It doesn't really go that deep, but from seeing them, you can tell they definitely have feelings for each other. And I think he's basically like your Max character. He's like a good-hearted, roughneck type of guy. And I liked him. I liked his role. I liked the way he looked. I like that. And to a character who I feel like could get another prequel spin-off, just because I found him so interesting in this movie, somewhat interesting in the previous movie, and that is Immortan Joe. And unfortunately, the previous actor passed away, so he was not able to, play the role in this film. So the one character, Lachy Hulme, he also plays, another character in this movie who has like one eye, but he plays Immortan Joe. in this film. And he's great. It's like a different version of Immortan Joe, a younger version. He's not as sickly. He's more like this, I don't want to say kind dictator, but he's definitely like a politician. He has people around him who are kind of like advising him, and he's making like these decisions like, all right, this guy's taking over Gastown. What are we going to do? We're going to kill him. We're going to go to war. He's like, you know what? You can have Gastown. Give me that guy. Give me that little girl. And we'll call it even for now. I'll give you some cabbages, but you're not getting any meat. He makes these great decisions in this film, whereas in the previous film, you know, chasing all of his wives, I don't think it was the necessarily smartest or best decision. He's definitely a little more unhinged in that film than in this one. The way the film looks, this one does look a little more clean than the previous film. It definitely looks like they did a little more effects. The last one looked like it was more practical, but it doesn't take away from how great the film is. I think George Miller does a great job directing this film. It looks great, and I'm ashamed to see that it's not really making a lot of money, because it's fantastic. It's a really enjoyable film. Like, in terms of score, I'm gonna give it an excellent 9 out of 10. That's how much I really did enjoy watching this. And I would really like to see Mad Max continue. I really hope somehow, some way he can make Mad Max The Wasteland. And the music is great. Junkie XL does a terrific job with the soundtrack and with the score. It is just great to listen to. It is like a feast for the ears. And I think that him and George Miller, they just work well together. And he did the last movie as well. And I just think bringing him back was a great idea. But I would definitely like to return to this world, and I really do hope that we get that chance. So I thank you guys again for joining me for this movie review. Remember, you can watch the full review on YouTube and the website, thefrogllc.com/flixfrog. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.